Listen carefully, this isn't what you've been told before. Is a force inside you so magnetic, so undeniable, that when you activate it, you will never have to chase, beg, or prove your worth to anyone again. He will crave you, obsess over you, and be unable to shake the thought of you, not because you tricked him, but because you became the energy he can't live without. And the best part? This has nothing to do with him. You see, most people believe attraction is about doing more, texting the right way, playing hard to get, or following some rule book. But those who truly master their power, they don't chase, they attract. Because what's truly addictive? It's not words, it's not looks, it's not games, it's energy. When you become a woman who is deeply rooted in her own power, who radiates confidence without seeking validation, you trigger something primal. He feels it before he understands it. It haunts him. Because while the world is full of women trying to get his attention, you have become the woman who doesn't need it. Energy is the foundation of everything. It is the silent force that speaks before you ever open your mouth, the unseen gravity that pulls people toward you or repels them away. When you step into a room, long before he processes your features, your voice, or your words, he feels you. He feels your presence, your confidence, your self-perception. He feels the weight of how you carry yourself, and whether you realize it or not, he decides in that moment if he's drawn to you or if he forgets you the second you walk away. This is why some women, without trying, make men obsess over them, while others constantly fight for attention and never seem to hold it. The difference isn't in what they say, what they wear, or even how they act. It's the energy they radiate, the frequency they exist on, the silent, undeniable power they either harness or ignore. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, is sending out a signal. You are broadcasting a frequency, and men are tuning into it, whether consciously or subconsciously. If your energy screams desperation, fear, or insecurity, he will feel it. Even if you say all the right words, wear the most stunning dress, and play all the mind games in the world, his subconscious will reject you. Because deep down, you don't even believe in yourself. You are coming from a place of lack, and lack is never attractive. Neediness is repelling. The moment you seek something outside yourself to validate your worth, you become weak in his eyes and worse in your own. But when you radiate certainty, when you are rooted in self-worth so deeply that his presence or absence does not shake you, you become magnetic. You become the woman he can't ignore because he can't figure you out. Why aren't you chasing? Why aren't you desperate for his approval like everyone else? Why do you move with the confidence of someone who already has everything? That mystery alone will consume him. Most women focus on the external. They think if they say the right thing, act the right way, or play the perfect role, they will get the love they want. But energy is deeper than that. A man does not fall in love with your words. He falls in love with how he feels in your presence. If your energy is strong, if it is calm, if it is unshaken, he will find himself addicted to being near you, even if he doesn't understand why. He will crave your presence, not because of what you do, but because of what you are. This is the secret that changes everything. The women who truly command attention and devotion are not the loudest, the most beautiful, or the most perfect. They are the ones who exist in an energy so powerful, so unwavering, that a man feels it in his soul and cannot escape it. If you do not believe in your worth, if you do not radiate self-assurance, you will always attract men who treat you as an option, and worse, you will tolerate it. But when you step into your full power, when you embody an energy that screams, I am enough, I do not chase, I do not beg, I do not settle, everything changes. Men will rise to meet you or they will disappear, but either way, you will never find yourself begging for love again. The secret isn't in making a man addicted to you. The secret is in making your energy so unshakable, so deeply rooted in self-love, that you become an addiction without even trying. The moment you detach from the outcome, you take back your power. You shift from being the one waiting, hoping, wondering if he will choose you, to being the one who decides if he is even worthy of your energy. Men can feel it when a woman is emotionally dependent on their validation. They can sense when she is waiting for a text, overanalyzing their words, or adjusting her energy based on their approval. And the second they sense it, the attraction shifts. The mystery dies. The energy that once pulled them in now pushes them away. Because nothing is more intoxicating than a woman who is secure in herself, who doesn't need reassurance, who isn't clinging to an outcome because she already knows her worth. That is the energy that makes them obsessed. That is the energy that keeps them chasing. Detachment is not about not caring. It's about caring so deeply for yourself that you refuse to let someone else's actions define your value. It's about knowing that whether he stays or goes, whether he steps up or fades away, you remain whole. And that kind of inner peace is magnetic. When you stop attaching yourself to what a man does or doesn't do, you step into your full power. Because now you are no longer reacting to his energy, you are commanding your own. And when you command your own energy, you become the one in control. Not by force, not by manipulation, but by presence. By knowing that you don't need to convince anyone to see your value. When a woman is too attached to the outcome, she makes choices from fear. Stop making excuses for men who do not show up fully, because you no longer need them to. All in your happiness is not dependent on their attention. But love is never secured through control. Is not tied to whether they choose you. Love is only ever truly felt in freedom. And that is the shift. The moment you try to grasp it too tightly, it slips away. When a man senses that you are not emotionally dependent on him, the moment you show that you are not waiting by the phone with or without it, is that you are not constantly seeking his approval. This is why men become obsessed with women who are unshaken. He realizes he is either going to lose something valuable, or that is what makes her a woman he can't share from his mind. And that is the greatest power. He never desperate from the outcome, does not tolerate inconsistency, fearing loss, she does not chase, fearing loss, she does not power, she does not wait in confusion. When you simply observe minimum, you become her observation. She makes settling for breadcrumbs, but in truth, if he shows up fully, now you are no longer waiting to be chosen. You have already chosen yourself. If he is unsure, in doing so, you force everything around fades away without resistance with that choice. Because her energy is not ready will fall away. She does not break herself trying to fit into his world. But the man who is meant for you, the one who recognizes your energy, the one who either rises to without you having to prove it, or watches her walk away, will step up in a way that leaves no doubt. And that is what makes detachment so powerful. It is not about manipulation. It is about standing so firmly in your self-worth that you naturally filter out anyone who cannot rise to your level. It is about being so confident in yourself that you never again have to question whether someone is meant for you. Because if he is, he will show you. And if he isn't, he will remove himself. Either way, you remain untouched. Either way, you remain in control. Feminine magnetism is not about trying to be desirable. It is about becoming the woman who naturally pulls people in without effort. It is a force, an energy, a presence that cannot be ignored, and when you activate it, you do not chase, you do not beg, you do not convince. You exist in a way that makes men crave you, not because of what you do, but because of what you are. This is not something you fake. It is not something you perform. It is something you embody. And when you do, men will be drawn to you in a way that feels almost supernatural, unable to resist the pull of your presence. The world is full of women who are trying to impress, trying to be chosen, trying to say the right thing, wear the right thing, do the right thing to be seen as valuable. But the most powerful women in this world do not try. They know. They know that their presence is enough. They know that their energy is already magnetic. They know that their worth does not need to be explained or proved. It simply is. And that knowing, that certainty, is what makes them impossible to forget. A man does not become addicted to a woman because she looks a certain way or plays a certain game. He becomes addicted to the feeling he gets when he is around her. The feeling of being in the presence of something rare, something valuable, something irreplaceable. There is a deep power in feminine energy, but most women have been disconnected from it. They have been taught that to be powerful, they must compete, they must fight, they must chase. But true feminine power does not chase, it draws. It does not force, it receives. It does not beg, it commands. And the moment you shift into this energy, everything changes. You do not have to ask for attention. You do not have to convince anyone to stay. You become a presence that a man wants to be around because it makes him feel something he cannot find anywhere else. The softness, the grace, The quiet confidence of a woman who knows her worth is more powerful than any words, any strategy, any game. A man may be attracted to a woman's looks, but he stays for her energy. He may be intrigued by what she says, but he becomes addicted to how she makes him feel. When you embody your full feminine power, you create a space where he can feel safe, where he can feel seen, where he can feel the depth of your presence without fear, without resistance. And that feeling is something he will chase for the rest of his life. He will crave it in a way that is beyond logic, beyond reason. He will not be able to explain why he thinks of you at night, why he feels drawn to you in a room full of people, why no other woman seems to hold his attention the way you do. It is not because of what you say, it is not because of what you do, it is because of who you are. But to embody this power, you must first understand that your value does not come from how much you give. It does not come from how much you prove. It does not come from how much you try to earn love. Your value already exists. It is in the way you carry yourself, the way you move, the way you speak with certainty, with grace, with unwavering self-respect, the way you set boundaries without fear, without desperation, without explaining yourself, the way you know that your presence is a gift, and that anyone who does not see it is simply not meant to receive it. This is the shift that changes everything. A woman in her full feminine power does not break herself trying to fit into a man's world. She does not shrink herself to be more palatable. She does not sacrifice her energy to keep someone who does not recognize her worth. She moves through life with an energy that says, I am enough. I do not chase, I do not beg, I do not convince. And that energy is what makes her unforgettable. That energy is what makes a man feel drawn to her in a way he cannot explain. He may not understand why, but he will feel it. He will feel the difference between a woman who is seeking validation and a woman who already knows she is valuable. He will feel the difference between a woman who is desperate for love and a woman who is love, who radiates love, who embodies love in a way that is not dependent on anyone else's approval. The most magnetic women in this world are not the ones who have the perfect face, the perfect body, the perfect words. They are the ones who walk with the certainty that they are enough. They are the ones who do not chase, do not beg, do not settle. They are the ones who allow love to come to them effortlessly because they do not fear being alone. They do not fear being misunderstood. They do not fear being too much. They simply are. And that is the kind of energy that makes a man addicted in a way he never has been before. That is the kind of energy that makes him stay, that makes him crave you, that makes him see you as the one woman he can never replace. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. Your energy, your beliefs, your self-worth, these are the forces shaping your reality, pulling in experiences, people, and relationships that reflect them back to you. A woman who sees herself as the prize moves differently. She speaks differently. She carries herself in a way that tells the world exactly what she expects, exactly what she deserves, and the world responds accordingly. She does not wait for a man to choose her. She has already chosen herself. And that energy alone makes her irresistible. It is not about arrogance. It is not about proving anything. It is about stepping into the certainty that you are already enough and that anyone who does not recognize it is simply not meant for you. Most women chase love because deep down they do not feel worthy of it. They try to prove their value, try to make a man see what they have to offer, try to be good enough, smart enough, beautiful enough, lovable enough. But the truth is, no amount of effort can compensate for a belief that you are not enough. A man does not fall in love with effort. He falls in love with the energy of a woman who knows she is enough. A woman who does not need to convince him because she already believes in her own worth so deeply that she only allows love that mirrors it back to her. When you operate from a place of lack, you attract men who confirm that lack. You attract men who leave you waiting, men who treat you like an option, men who give you the bare minimum. Because deep down, you have not yet demanded more from yourself. The woman who sees herself as the prize does not settle. She does not overextend herself to keep a man interested. She does not lower her standards out of fear that she is asking for too much. She understands that the man who is meant for her will rise to meet her expectations, and the ones who cannot will simply fall away. And she does not fear their absence. She does not mourn the loss of men who were never capable of loving her in the first place. She does not chase after someone who walks away, because she knows with unshakable certainty that the love she desires is already hers and she refuses to settle for anything less. Men can feel this energy. They can sense whether a woman is standing in her power or if she is waiting to be validated. They know when a woman is desperate for their love, and they know when a woman is love, when she embodies it so fully that she does not need to beg, chase, or plead for it. The difference between a woman who attracts devotion and a woman who attracts indifference is not luck, beauty, or strategy. It is energy. It is self-perception. It is the deep, unwavering belief that she is the prize, and that any man who does not recognize that is simply clearing the path for the one who will. When you truly see yourself as worthy, your entire world shifts. You no longer tolerate inconsistency. You no longer entertain men who do not step up. You no longer seek love from a place of emptiness. You become so full, so whole, so deeply connected to your own worth that men cannot help but notice. They cannot help but feel the difference. Because you are no longer trying to earn their love, you are love. And that kind of presence is unforgettable. That kind of presence is addictive. That kind of presence makes a man see you as the woman he cannot afford to lose. Not because you manipulated him, not because you played games, but because your energy spoke before you ever said a word. A woman who knows her worth does not beg for attention. She commands it without trying. She does not fear being alone because she understands that she is never truly alone. She has herself, and that is enough. And that kind of confidence, that kind of self-trust, is what makes the right man chase her instead of the other way around. He does not question her value because she does not question it. He does not take her for granted. And if he ever does, she walks away with grace, knowing that her presence was a privilege, not a guarantee, because she knows, without a shadow of a doubt, that she is the prize. And that kind of certainty changes everything. Emotional mastery is the difference between a woman who controls the room and a woman who is controlled by it. It is the silent force that determines whether you are a woman who evokes deep desire or one who is easily forgotten. Most women move through relationships like a storm, reactive, emotional, dependent on external validation to feel secure. They let a man's words dictate their mood, his actions define their worth, his attention determine their confidence, and in doing so, they give their power away without even realizing it. The moment you allow someone else to control your emotional state, you have handed them the keys to your mind, your heart, your energy. A woman without emotional mastery is a woman who can be manipulated, a woman who can be pushed and pulled like a puppet, a woman who is never truly in control. But the woman who masters her emotions, the woman who does not react out of fear, insecurity, or desperation, is the woman who holds the ultimate power. Men are instinctively drawn to what they cannot control, to what they cannot fully predict, to what they cannot easily manipulate. The moment you become emotionally erratic, the moment you let your fluffy feels spill out unchecked, the moment you react without restraint, you become easy to read, easy to manage, easy to dismiss. But the woman who moves with calculated grace, the woman who remains poised even when tested, the woman who feels deeply but controls how she expresses it, is the woman a man cannot shake from his mind. She is the woman he respects, the woman he fears losing, the woman who makes him level up because he knows she will not tolerate anything less. Mastering your emotions does not mean suppressing them. It does not mean pretending not to care. It means developing the ability to choose how you respond instead of being controlled by impulse. It means understanding that desperation, neediness, and attachment repel, while confidence, self-restraint, and detachment create addiction. A man cannot form an obsession with a woman who is overly available, overly emotional, overly predictable. He forms an obsession with the woman who remains a mystery, the woman whose energy is felt but never fully owned, the woman who evokes deep feelings without losing control of her own. When you have emotional mastery, you do not send long pleading messages when a man pulls away. You do not chase after love that is unsure. You do not break yourself trying to hold on to someone who is treating you like an option. Instead, you observe, you assess, You decide whether his actions align with your worth, and if they do not, you move accordingly. There is nothing more powerful than a woman who does not crumble under pressure, a woman who does not fall apart when tested, a woman who does not beg, plead, or explain her value. When a man senses that his absence does not shake you, that his approval does not define you, that his attention does not control you, he is forced to rise to meet you, or he is forced to step aside for the man who will. Emotional mastery means you do not seek validation because you are validation. You do not react to disrespect because you do not entertain disrespect. You do not lose yourself in love because you have already found yourself. A woman who is emotionally unpredictable, who is constantly seeking reassurance, who falls into chaos at the first sign of distance, loses her power before she even realizes it. But a woman who remains composed, who remains grounded, who does not allow a man's inconsistency to disrupt her peace, is a woman who commands deep respect. And respect is the foundation of obsession. When you master your emotions, you stop attracting men who thrive on confusion. You stop entertaining men who thrive on confusion. You stop tolerating relationships that drain your energy. Instead, you become a force, a presence so powerful that the wrong men fear wasting your time and the right men crave the stability you provide. Emotional mastery is not just about love. It is about power. It is about control. It is about stepping into the highest version of yourself where you are no longer at the mercy of anyone else's behavior. Because when you reach that level, you do not have to chase, you are the chase. Mystery is the most intoxicating element of attraction because the human mind craves what it cannot fully grasp. A woman who is too available, too predictable, too easily understood loses the ability to create deep desire. When a man feels like he has already figured you out, when there is nothing left to uncover, nothing left to chase, the excitement fades. It is not because he wants to play games, but because the male mind is wired for pursuit. The moment a woman makes herself too accessible, the moment she lays everything out on the table without allowing him to discover her, the intrigue begins to disappear. But a woman who understands the power of mystery holds the ability to keep a man hooked not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. Mystery is not about withholding love. It is not about manipulation. It is about understanding that true connection is built on layers, on depth, on curiosity, on the endless unfolding of who you are. A man should never feel like he has reached the end of you. He should never feel like he knows every thought before you speak it, every move before you make it. He should always feel like there is more to learn, more to uncover, more to earn. This does not mean being cold or distant. It means moving in a way that keeps him engaged, that keeps him guessing, that makes him feel like no matter how much he has, he is still craving more. The problem with most women is that they give too much too soon. They reveal their feelings before he has even proven himself. They express their desires before he has even asked. They hand over their heart before he has earned the right to hold it. And in doing so, they strip away the very thing that makes a man value them. A man does not value what is given freely. He values what he has to work for, what he has to earn, what he has to prove himself worthy of. And that is where the power of mystery becomes your greatest weapon. When a woman understands mystery, she does not overshare. She does not lay out her entire past, her entire soul, her entire heart before a man has shown that he is capable of holding it. She allows him to wonder. She allows him to think. She allows him to question whether he truly knows her, whether he has truly won her. And that questioning, that uncertainty, that need to understand more is what makes him obsessed. The most unforgettable women are not the ones who explain everything. They are the ones who make a man feel something he cannot fully explain. Mystery is in the way you move, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself like there is more beneath the surface. It is in the way you do not rush to fill the silence, the way you do not explain yourself unnecessarily, the way you do not oversaturate him with access to you. A woman who is always available, who is always explaining, who is always giving, loses her allure because she removes the tension, the pull, the craving. But a woman who understands restraint, a woman who knows when to hold back, a woman who allows him to wonder, becomes unforgettable. Because she is not just giving him her presence. She is making him work for it. Men do not fall in love with women they fully understand. They fall in love with women who make them think, who make them feel, who make them question. They fall in love with the ones who are not easily won, the ones who do not need to be seen, the ones who are so confident in their value that they do not feel the need to over-explain, to over-prove, to over-give. That is the woman he will dream about. That is the woman he will chase. That is the woman he will never replace. Because she is a mystery he will spend a lifetime trying to solve. And that is what will make him stay